Welcome back to Sea Glass Archaeology, everybody. It's early in the morning and I'm headed to the bus stop for a big trip to Indian Beach in North Sydney. Now it's going to take me a couple hours to get there and I better not miss that bus. So let's hurry up and get to the beach. Well, that was a really long hour and 45 minutes, everybody, but here I am. I am at Indian Beach, North Sydney. It is high tide right now, and I'm really excited to get down to the shoreline. I need so many tinies for the upcoming season. I can see that nobody's on the shoreline, and it really doesn't matter if anybody is out there, because as the tide's going down, we're gonna get the first pick of the day. Being the first person here is definitely gonna pay off, because there's not only one, two, look at this well-aged piece right over here, 3, 4 larger pieces, which I haven't seen big pieces like this on Indian Beach in years. There's still so many tinies. So this is just the very beginning. You can see somebody was digging right over here, but this is right where the tide is pushing up, so it's all been cycled. That's right, tide. I definitely plan on spending the whole day here, maybe even until the sun sets. I'm really not sure right now. We'll see how it goes. But that said, I only have so much power in this tablet, so I can't really keep it running all the time, but I'm gonna do my best to share all my finds with you. You can see it's still pretty early in the morning. The sun is just glistening off of the ocean. Let's go see what we find. As the tide rolls in, these big, large pieces keep pushing up and keep exposing themselves. So I'm gonna keep moving here. Oh, look at this, while I'm filming, you've gotta be kidding me. Look at this piece right over here, a nice piece of lavender purple. This is probably manganese glass, so it's probably from an old apothecary bottle. And I'd better stop talking here and I better keep picking because the pickings are good. Take a look, everybody, right on this concrete barrier wall, somebody left a little bit of sea glass, I guess for someone who needs it, and that would be me because I feed my family. I keep the power on using sea glass, so every little shard helps, especially these tinies. So if you're watching my video, I really can't thank you enough. So take a look at this absolutely massive chunk of gray, everybody. And you can see right here that it's got an edge and it's got a little bit of a curve to it. So this most probably would have been from an old television screen, which I've been talking about a lot lately in my videos. It's too bad it's not aged to perfection, but you can even see it has a little bit of a lip on the inside, a neat little groove. And then I also found this really unique piece. It looks like it's melt glass. And then it's got a couple of eyes, almost like a little bit of an alien. So it's a couple of neat little finds. And I gotta say that there's just sea glass all over this place. I came out to this beach because I'm in big need of small and tiny sea glass, and this place has an abundance of it. But being the first person that gets to pick the low tide, I've made some great discoveries that are very large so far. So take a look at this piece right over here. It's a nice piece of purple manganese glass. It's the wedge from the bottom of an old bottle. Now it's a lot thicker than an apothecary, so I'm gonna have to imagine that this one could be maybe like a 6 or 8 ounce bottle. It probably was made about 1880 to 1910, and it's a really great find. It really just goes to show that the early sea glasser gets the great finds. It almost seems like every time I come out to this beach, I find a really, really dark piece of glass that people just walk right past because they probably think it's a rock. Well, this one over here doesn't fool me when I'm down on my knees, so take a look at it. This is probably what you could refer to as pirate's glass. If you're a member of online sea glass collecting groups, you probably hear the term pirate glass being used very loosely to describe any and all black glass. See, to me, the age of piracy ended around 1780, so any glass that was made after that really would be from the age of sail and not the age of piracy. Outside of North Sydney, there's a little sign when you come in that says friendly seaport since 1785. Well, the truth is this wasn't a friendly seaport before 1785, and there is a good chance that an actual pirate dropped this really nice piece from a bottle over the side of their ship a couple of 100 years ago, and then I found it right here today looking for tinies. Imagine that, everyone. This piece of glass is so dark that when I hold it right up to the sunlight, you can't see any light coming through it. Well, maybe you can, but I just can't see it through the tablet. Have a look at this beautiful little fragment of a sea marble that I just dug up, everybody. You can see it's got a little bit of a melt glass streak to it. It almost looks like calligraphy, and it looks like someone's signature. about 20% of that marble. Very happy it's coming home with me. I'm very close to the end of the beach, everybody, but today it's very sandy where normally I can sit here all day and pick through the tinies. So I'm gonna have to look around for some piles of tinies. I'm really encouraged though by the amount of sea glass I've put in the bag in such a very short time. To think back on my beach in that last video, it probably took me about 3 hours to put this much sea glass into the bag, although these pieces are a lot bigger, and that's fine because big pieces are getting harder to find as sea glass becomes more popular and there's more and more people out here doing it, as there is right now. There's at least 3 people on the shore with me, so I better keep picking. Have a look, everyone. I just found my first red, and as always, my first red is a microscopic little tiny one. I'm gonna happily take it. There's just tiny sea glass all over. I was wondering to myself, how many pieces of sea glass am I gonna pick throughout this afternoon? Like, am I gonna pick over 10,000 pieces of sea glass? And realistically, that would be 2,000 an hour for 5 hours. And as I sit here and I pick them up quite rapidly, the number is obtainable. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna sit around and count it all. I did find a piece of the willow pattern right over here. You can see it's a little bit thicker, a little bit porous on the cross section, so it's probably an early century or late 19th century piece. And a neat little piece, which I believe is a fragment of a bonfire marble as well. And it's got a nice crease in it as well. It's got a neat little streak, so it kind of looks like a mineral. So here I am, and I'm gonna keep on picking all these tiny, tiny little pieces of sea glass like this one right over here. And I'm gonna turn them all into something new and beautiful. There's no need to check the watch, everybody, when I can hear the rumble of that big engine right behind me. So that's the ferry, and it's going all the way to Newfoundland. It leaves from North Sydney at 12 o'clock every day. And then out in the water, you can actually see the one that's making the long trip from Newfoundland. There it is right over there. So that's going to be coming to port at about 1 o'clock. I'm going to have to hypothesize, because it probably takes a while for it to turn around the corner and dock safely. There's probably some people out there that are thinking, you know, Mike, you live in a spot where you find some pretty amazing sea glass and artifacts. Why in the world would you make a trip all the way out to Indian Beach, which is almost a 2-hour trip? Well, the truth of the matter is this beach has volume. See, the marine traffic from the ferry coming in and all the other marine traffic that's been coming through here for hundreds of years, it was very common that you would take your discards when you were coming into port and then just dump them over the side. That and over 20,000 people would make up the population of North Sydney, which makes for a large abundance of sea glass. Despite the fact that people come here every day and they're always picking the shoreline, it seems every time that it cycles, you can still come out here and pick your fingers to the bone, and that's what I plan on doing today. Take a look at these awesome finds over here, everybody. This one over here is going to be manganese glass, so it's got a nice shade of lavender, and then I found a nice light shade of aqua turquoise over here, and there's still sea glass all over the place. I got to get picking. The tide has come out and there's people all over the beach now. The tide is really starting to go down, everybody, and I'm still finding a lot of great big large pieces of sea glass and some nice colors as well while I'm digging through all these piles. So there's a few people around me and I really don't want to be too loud. One of them actually said she just found a marble in the pile next to me, so I'm really happy for her. It's getting pretty late in the afternoon, everybody, but I'm still at it hard. I don't know if you can tell by my hair or the sound in the video, but it's actually getting pretty windy right now, and overnight we're supposed to get about 15 to 20 centimeters of snow and a lot of wind. So this is the beginning, and I'm really starting to get cold, but it took me so long to get out here, there's no way I'm giving up early. Take a look right over here, everyone. I found the nicest little tiny shade of yellow, and here we have another piece of lavender, and there's a whole bunch of other tinies all around. I'm going to pick them all up and keep on going. So without a doubt, this is going to be my best find of the day so far, everybody. It's really getting windy, but it's as low as it's going to get. So here it is. Take a look. It's a beautiful little sea marble. It's got some blue, some yellow, looks like some orange in it as well, and it's really, really reduced down. If you think about the fact that the smallest marbles made were 12 millimeters, I'd have to say this one here is about 8 millimeters. So if it was a little itty bitty, which was 12 millimeters, it would be reduced about 50%. So it's a fantastic little find. Take a look at this beautiful find right over here, everybody. It's a beautiful shard of Depression-era pink glassware. You can see it's almost the same size as my fingernail, and who knows, maybe a nice piece like this is actually going to become a beautiful little pendant. It's wild, everybody. All afternoon, I've just been sitting here with my head down, picking a whole bunch of tinies, and random dogs have just been coming up and scaring the dickens out of me. They've all been super friendly because dog owners know their dogs, and they know that if their dog was a bit dangerous, they wouldn't be letting them loose on a beach. But the crazy thing is, look around, I am the only person on the beach right now. Somehow this dog just came out of nowhere, and I think that's pretty awesome. There's no houses around here either now that I look at it. Take a look, everyone. There's somebody out there on the sandbar at low tide, and they're digging for clams, I'd have to imagine, because I don't think you look for sea glass with big rakes. Here's a nice little pottery shard, everybody. You can see it's got some red slip to it. It's not very often that I encounter ceramic shards with red slip, so I'm very happy to have come across this one. Take a look at these cute little colors I just found, everybody. There's a tiny little speck of red, and then right over here, there's a nice piece of Depression-era purple glassware. So as you can probably tell, everybody, it's a brand new day and I'm back at home nice and warm. And before I ended the video, I wanted to take my sea glass and put it on a scale, find out how much I picked, and then spread it all out on a tray and see what it looks like. It's time for the official weigh-in, and let's see how much sea glass I picked. Look at that, 4 3/4 pounds, or just over 2 kilograms. Although I bet if I remove this piece right over here, take a look, this large piece of gray weighs about 100 grams. So I'm going to put it right back on the scale. And that really just speaks to how much one television screen being introduced into an environment can produce with respect for gray glass. Now comes my favorite part, everybody, where I'm going to empty out the 3 bags onto the tray, and we're going to see just how much sea glass 4.5 pounds looks like. So we got 1. We got 2, and here comes 3. This might be the first bag that I picked because it's got the larger pieces in it. And now let's shuffle it out. And I want to remind everybody that this is a fast food dinner tray that I took out of heavy garbage many years ago. So it's 18 inches across, and now you can see that is what it looks like. This is such an amazing amount of sea glass, and I'm definitely going to be using every single one of these pieces. One thing I do have to say that I've noticed over the years is there's a lot less blue on Indian Beach than there was in years previous, and that's to be expected because it's one of the easier colors to see, and brown seems to be pretty prevalent. A lot of these pieces that just look like they're rocks, people who are walking, it's very easy to not notice them. So this is a really great find, and I'd have to imagine that maybe there actually is 10,000 pieces in this tray. Well, everyone, I came here to chew bubblegum and to pick glass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. I'm also all out of time, everybody, so I better hurry up and go catch the bus. But I wanted to show you that this is what my full afternoon looks like right over here. I'm going to have to say it's maybe about 4 to 5 pounds of sea glass. Most of it is tinies, although I did make a few great discoveries that were a lot larger. So thanks for watching this video, everybody. I hope you're all home nice and warm and toasty. Me, I'm absolutely frozen to the bone. And now I have a 2-hour bus ride until I'm going to get a cup of coffee into me. And it's going to be really dark by the time I get home. Take care, everybody. Hopefully I'm back out on the beach again real soon, having some more fun and making some more great finds. They say if you don't like the weather, you should just wait 5 minutes and it'll change. Take a look at how much snow came down overnight since I took that trip to Indian Beach. Well, I'm so happy that I get the day off of school with the kids so we can have a lot of fun. Think about your next action here. You're gonna sit there and throw a snowball at your brother while you're buried in 200 pounds of snow. That's it, Will.
Yeah, good. Say goodbye, Will.
Oh, William's stuck here.
What is that, Will? It's a pit crew.
It's the pit crew.
Yeah. You have to know that. Hey, it's a pit crew.
Maybe I should be helping here, hey?